Hello everybody, my name is Josh Burkfeld and I decided to do my project about the biblical story of Esther, using the literary criticism feminism. Now to summarize the story, King Xerxes decided to choose a new queen when the first one disobeyed him during a party. Queen Vashti did not want to be paraded around for a king's amusement, which made the king upset, and when he consulted his advisors, they suggested that Queen Vashti be banished and stripped of her title. The reason being is that during the time period, the wives of Persia had to listen to their husbands, and with Queen Vashti's actions, the women of Persia might use this as an example to disobey their husbands. It was a very progressive time back then. The king had his eunuchs gather different women from the land to find a new queen. One of these women happened to be a Jewish girl named Esther. Esther and her cousin Mordecai were living in Persia after the king of Babylon exiled the Jews from Jerusalem. Mordecai was more like a parent who took over the role when Esther's parents passed away. He would even visit Esther when she was taken to the citadel every day just to see how she was doing. Now, before every girl got to see the king, they would spend 12 months going through a beauty process with different perfumes and cosmetics, which kind of feels like overkill, as Esther was described as having a lovely form and features. And she, like the rest of the women, were brought to the citadel where the king would choose Esther for his new queen. After Esther became queen, King Xerxes also honored a noble named Haman, who was higher up than any other noble in the empire. Everyone but Mordecai bowed to him, which angered Haman, and when he found out about Mordecai's heritage, Haman wanted to get rid of the Jews in Persia, to which he manages to persuade the king to pass a decree to eradicate them. Unfortunately for Haman, the king saw favor in Mordecai, whom he rewarded for his part in spoiling a plot to kill the king. He was the one who warned Esther when he overheard the conspirators during one of his visits to the citadel. This angered Haman even more, and when Esther heard of Haman's plan, she took a risk by approaching the king unannounced to invite him and Haman to 2 banquets to ask him for a request. This could have ended badly, as she could have been put to death. Fortunately, the king loved her and even willing to give her half the kingdom just to know about her request. During the second day of the second banquet, the king asked Esther what her request would be, to which she replied, "Spare the life of me and my people." She never revealed her heritage. The king asks who would cause harm to his queen, and she reveals Haman's hatred for Mordecai and his Jewish heritage. Haman gets hanged on the very noose that he prepared for Mordecai the next day, while Mordecai himself becomes the king and second in command. While Mordecai himself becomes the second in command of the king and one of the most powerful men in Persia. Not the king. He doesn't become the king. He becomes second in command to the king. That was me misreading my notes. Anyway, now how this would tie in with feminism is that the queen, Esther, I don't think anything would have worked out if Esther didn't become queen. It's because of her position that she was able to warn the king firsthand. I doubt that Queen Vashti would even listen to Mordecai or would even care. And because of Esther's Jewish heritage, the king, who loved Esther, took favor upon her and was able to spare her people. So I hope you all enjoyed my major writing project, and I hope you all will enjoy the song I have prepared.